Hello gamers and welcome back to the Armbar arcade. I'm Nay and today we're going to be playing one of my favourite fighting games of all time. It's on the Dreamcast, released by Capcom. This game is Power Stone. There was an anime based on this video game as well, released about the same time as the game. It's kind of a 1999 sort of 2000 thing to do. But yeah, this is one of my favourite fighting games of all time. I really rate it. I think it's got excellent action and gameplay. The characters are wonderful, the settings are good, so let's get into it. This is arcade mode, where you fight through the cast to get to the bosses and unlock the story ending of whoever you choose. So we're going to go with Wang Tang. The reason why should be obvious in a little while when I start fighting. And we're going to go to Manchas, which is Manchester, and fight Jack, who's loosely based on Jack the Ripper, I believe. I think there's some other elements to his character design, but all of the characters have a really good sort of feel to them, and they're kind of unique in how they've been presented. So, you can pick up things and throw them at your opponents. That's one of the ways to damage them. The chests have weapons in. That was a bomb that just set us on fire. And there are gems that appear across the stage, which you can collect in order to power up and transform. Now you need all 3 gems to power up and transform, so we're going to grab a flamethrower. When you get hit, the gems come out of you, so you've got to protect your gems. And once you get all 3 gems, you transform into your powered up form. Here's Wang Tang's powered up form, and the reason we use him is this massive energy ball that has just missed, but when it hits, it is one of the most damaging attacks in the game. So we've picked up both gems once again. Hopefully we'll just avoid that suitcase. Power up once again. Jack has no form of defense against this. We've got these little bolts that we shoot. Those are good. But the energy ball is really where it's at. And obviously when it hits, boom, KO. That's it. We hardly lost any health there. Very nice. I was wondering whether I'd be able to show off my skill at this game. I've been playing it for about 17 years because I got it in about 2001, I think. It was one of the original 6 games that came with my Dreamcast, all of which I really liked. There was Shenmue, the first disc of Shenmue only, but I bought the rest later on. Power Stone, Sega Rally, Sonic Adventure, Virtua Tennis and Crazy Taxi. All 6 of those amazing games. Highly rate them. Obviously it's because I played them a lot as a kid as well, but I think they are all kind of arcadey classics. One thing the Dreamcast is really good for is arcadey video games that just are really good. Obviously some of them play in 60 frames a second, which is a nice touch, especially for the time. And yeah, they just look really nice. I think the Dreamcast graphics way better than the PS1. Obviously it was in the 6th gen, it was the first console of the 6th generation, so that was a reason that it looked much better than the PlayStation 1, but it just was such a vast improvement at the time, I think. Here's the energy ball, and once again it misses. It's not the most accurate of... Okay, as we fell, that was a pretty tactical move there. He just spammed the box into us and it lost the last of our health. So we're going to have to concentrate on this one as we come into the final battle of this fight. There we go, we're doing okay. You can do hand-to-hand combat. It's the least damaging of all the sort of combat. It only does a little bit of damage, but it does help in getting the gems over to your side of the playing field, picking them up and powering up, and obviously powering up does the most damage. You've got small attacks. You can do 6 small attacks and then a big attack. That's about as long as the power-up meter lasts. If you get damaged while you're powered up, the power-up meter goes down, so it can be a good tactic to try and hit the other person while they're powered up, but obviously remember, they are powered up, so anything that hits you is going to really do some damage. It's best to just get all your attacks off as quickly as possible because of that meter just ticking down, so you won't be able to attack in your powered up form and you lose all the gems once that meter runs out. Anyway, that was the first fight, and we've done pretty well there. We've dispatched Jack without too much trouble. Off to Lundo, which is obviously London, and Falcon, the token British character of the series. I believe he was quite terribly voiced in the anime. He was like, oh, what chap, fish and chips and all that. But, you know, the video game only has Japanese voicing, so it's good. It's kind of like subs versus dubs, you know, unless it's a really well done dub, just stick with the subs. So yeah, the treasure chests have lots of different weapons in. There's the base set that you get when you start the game, but as you complete the game you can also unlock other things. So you can unlock I think there's a minigun and some other like really powerful weapons. That's the bomb launcher that Falcon's got, so we'll just have to not get hit by that, although we have been hit by that. But yeah, there's a different variety of weapons. The endings, once you complete the game, you unlock one sort of new weapon or power up per ending. There's characters to unlock. You can play as all the bosses. And yeah, it's just a really fun little game. Like, it's high action. You know, there's never a moment where you can rest because your opponent's trying to get the gems off you. They're either throwing stuff at you or they're throwing weapons at you, trying to use a flamethrower. Yeah, there's a lot of tactics to it. You've got to remember trying to hold on to the gems, but also you're trying to really get your opponent's health bar down. If they've got the gems and you're dodging all their attacks, it doesn't matter that they've got all the gems. But my strategy here with Wang Tang is just to power up wherever possible, because he is the most powerful when he's powered up. His hand-to-hand combat isn't bad, but this energy ball attack is really where it's at for Wang Tang. Some of the other characters have nice power-up abilities. We should see all of them, because it's not often that you get to fight an opponent and they don't power up either, like in all of the rounds. We've seen Falcon turns into a bit of a robot dude and fires sort of guided missiles. That's the harder attack to dodge. It's quite easy to dodge his individual missiles, but once he starts firing the cluster of missiles, that's just where you're going to get hit. Anyway, we've got about even health bars at the minute. We're powered up, so we should, in theory, finish him with this energy ball. And we do. Perfect. Right, that's good. So that's 2 victories to us, and we can move on from London. It doesn't look a lot like London. It looks more like kind of, I think, a French town square, but it's supposedly sort of a back street of London. So we're going to move on to Mardad, which is sort of a combination of place names. It's not just like they've lopped the end off a place name like the other stages, but we're going to fight Bruges. It's kind of an Arabian kind of feel, I guess, sort of the Aladdin kind of Arabian Nights kind of. She's got some fire and she's got like a veil that she wears when she's powered up. I don't know really how to describe it without being inaccurate. It's also quite a difficult one because you start in that little pit, so her first attack, if you don't dodge it, you're just going to lose your gem right away. And yeah, there we go, she powers up. She's got this fiery head and a veil, and she a lot of her stuff is fire based, so she's gonna, well, she does her powered up attack straight away, so she didn't waste any time there. It is best to just do the smaller attacks and then wait for the bigger attack, because as long as you've got something left in your special bar, you can use the big attack. So it's worth just using all your small attacks and then using the big attacks, but the AI doesn't seem to do that all the time, so we've been let off the hook here really. Unfortunately, she's got 4 and a bit health bars and we have nearly, well, none really. She's going to use her big attack once again straight away. This one is a head that fires fireballs, but we've dodged it, so we're still in the game. We've got 2 gems. If we can just get this third one, then we've smashed a pot into her face at point blank range. Now, if we can do this and then hit her with the big energy ball, I would back us to actually win this in a bit of a comeback. That has completely missed her though, and she looks to be getting the gems, so we're going to pick up the bomb launcher and point blank bomb her in the face. Okay, that's good. And we've got all the gems over our side. Hit her with another bomb, powered up. This is the comeback for the ages here. We're like the Justin Gaethje of Power Stone. Getting the KO after nearly being knocked out ourselves. That is good. Some high level power stoning there. So yeah, if we could just pick up that pot and throw it at her before she attacks us, that would be amazing. We didn't lose our gem though, so it's fine. There we go, we're going to take quite a lot. I like the way the health bars are presented, like they're sort of in jars almost up there. It's kind of a stylistic presentation of, you know, everything in Power Stone's kind of tying into the theme of everyone's after this Power Stone and whoever gets it, it will grant their wish. So obviously you've got all the main cast and then a couple of bosses who are after this Power Stone in order to grant their wishes. When you get to the end of the game, it will tell you what your character wishes for. It'll unlock a couple of things, and I think there is a true ending. If you complete the game as everyone, it shows you the true ending, which I believe was also the ending to the anime. Not that I watched the entire anime, because who would do that to themselves? Energy Ball misses once again. It's really the least effective of the special attacks, but when it hits, it really hits. So it's the choice between, do you want something that isn't going to do a lot of damage but is always going to hit, or you want something that will do all the damage but hardly ever hit. We're off to Dawn Volta to fight Gunrock, who is probably the biggest main cast character. I think there's a bigger boss right at the end, but this guy is the largest guy you can possibly fight within the main cast. He's big and muscular. He obviously works in this. I don't know quite what the idea of here is. There's a lot of boxes. There's this little vent that opens up and burns you if you're standing on top of it, as he was. And there's like the sort of extraction fan, I guess, there. So it's kind of like a factory of some sort that he works in. Maybe it's smashing down rocks and doing something with rocks. I don't know quite what you can do with rocks, but you can definitely fire a bomb launcher straight into someone's face. Power up. And there we go, we're at it again. Hopefully we can deal with Gunrock without too much difficulty here, because he has one of my least favourite powered up states, which is just this huge rock dude who will literally... I mean, he squashes you anyway when he isn't powered up. Hopefully... No, there we go. He throws us across the stage. But he does this rolling thing, which... Ah, here we go. Well, he's probably going to demonstrate it. So he throws rocks for a start, squashes you, and his special attack is going huge and just rolling across the stage. Now, if you get caught up in this... Ooh, we didn't do too badly there. I thought we were really going to struggle, because if you get properly caught up in that, you get about a 16 hit combo done to you, and that's basically it. So we've got a sword here. Can we hit him? Just going to avoid whatever he's throwing at us and try and get a hit in here. There we go, perfect. So sometimes there is a bit of strategy to thinking, do I use a weapon? Do I use hand-to-hand combat? I tried there to adjust the camera angle to a nice victory pose, because you can take control of the camera once you win. Unfortunately, it was just a shot of the bottom of that vent, so that didn't really work. There we go. Hand-to-hand combat working for both of us there. He's got one of our gems. We've been set on fire. He's going to come and get our last gem and power up once again. He's doing too well for my liking here. He's going to try and finish us off with this rolling rock move, but it hasn't worked. So that's good. I think if it hits us, it ends up trying to do the full combo. If it doesn't hit us, we can escape unharmed, which is basically the equivalent of our energy ball missing. We've got 2 out of 3 of the gems. He's coming over to us, so if we can just... Nope, we've been squashed. We have been squashed. And yeah, that's his victory, obviously. So we're going to try and throw all these boxes at him before he gets there. There we go, there's one. It's a good idea just to throw everything that you possibly can, and then if you can get all of the gems, that's a really good start to have hit them with some furniture and then start using your powered up attacks as well. Here comes the energy ball. Misses once again. It's quite easy to run away from, but if you can hit them just before you launch the energy ball, it's a really good tactic, and it'll take probably half their health bar at least away. More hand-to-hand combat. That gives us the final gem. Going Super Saiyan once again. I guess there are some real sort of Japanese influences to this game. You know, obviously it was made into an anime, but there's other anime sort of influences. It's kind of off-the-wall wacky. You've got all these weapons that you can fire. You can chuck anything you want across the stage. There was also a sequel to Power Stone, Power Stone 2. Power Stone 2 was for the Dreamcast once again. It kind of changed it up a bit though. It feels a bit more like Super Smash Bros. Melee, because there's 4 fighters in each stage. And the maps are still 3D, but they sort of progress as well, so sometimes they scroll up or they change in a certain way, whereas Power Stone 1 keeps it nice and simple, one-on-one combat, and you know, you can throw anything that's within the stage. You can use your weapons, and that's basically it. There's not 4 people all fighting for, you know, the same goal, but, you know, doing different things. I think my best recommendation if you do want to play Power Stone though is to get Power Stone Collection for the PSP, which includes Power Stone 1 and 2, and they play pretty much perfectly on the PSP. You can select between the two, and I mean that's just a good time. Power Stone 1 and 2, you can't go wrong. Even if you prefer the first game, it's good to have the second game. 1 and 2 are kind of rare on the Dreamcast. I think you can end up paying about 20 quid for Power Stone 2 on the Dreamcast. I think Power Stone 1's a little bit less rare, but obviously everything's becoming a bit more rare these days. Galuda's just got a perfect on us because we weren't really concentrating that much. I think he's based a little bit on wood. He's got like the Native American kind of dress there. But his power-up is based like a sort of wooden robot. We're just going to throw barrels at him. There's a lot of barrels in this stage. Yes, stronger characters can get like support pillars and poles out of the floor and try and crush you with them, which is a devastating attack if it does work. I think only Gunrock and Galuda and sort of the bigger guys can do that. Wang Tang just spins around the poles and launches more of a athletic attack. Anyway, we've got all the gems. We do need to watch out because Galuda's got 1 round out of the 3, so we need to win every other round, otherwise we're not going to progress. Obviously there are continues in this game, it is like a normal fighting game, but I did kind of want to show off being okay at it at least, with my 17 years of experience playing this game. It's hard to believe this game's 17 years old actually, because I mean it looks great, I think it looks great still. It plays wonderfully. It's better than a lot of the fighting games that I've played, like the 3D fighters. It's hard to make a good 3D fighting game. I mean 2D fighters, there's been no shortage of quality 2D fighters. You know, there's you got your Street Fighter 5 that came out recently, very good game. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle on PS3 is a really underrated fighting game. That's probably one of my other favourite fighting games of all time. Other fighting game recommendations: Tekken Tag Tournament 2, really good fighting game. Yeah, I mean I don't do a lot of tournament fighters. Street Fighter Alpha 3 Max is good. Street Fighter 3 I think is also good. Alpha 1 and 2 pretty good. Like generally the Street Fighter series is really good. Played a little bit of Guilty Gear. I didn't much like Blaze Blue. That was the only fighting game I was on the fence about. Because they also had a thing where they released a game I think some of the characters, or most of the characters, were DLC for, so if you're invested in that series that's kind of a terrible decision. But we got another victory there against Galuda, so we are moving on to the next stage. And that next stage is Odio against Ayame, which is the Japanese stage. She's the typical Japanese combatant. She's kind of dressed up a bit like a geisha, I guess. And she uses shuriken when she powers up, so that's another sort of typical Japanese thing. There's a big taiko drum there at the back. I love the music for this, and the stage design is really quite impressive. There's a little bit in the back where you can hide when she launches her shuriken attack. We'll see if we can get there if she does manage to power up. But just the weapons, the gameplay, the characters, the stages, everything's so good about Power Stone. And like remembering that it came out in sort of, I think it came out in '99 if I'm not mistaken, so like original sort of near launch Dreamcast game. Just it's got no right to be this good. But Capcom released sort of 4 amazing fighting games around this time. I think there was Marvel vs Capcom, Capcom vs SNK, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, not All-Star Battle but the Dreamcast game, and Power Stone 1 and 2. So many good Capcom fighting games came out around this time, so it's really one to watch. Just Capcom fighting games from around 99-2000. The Dreamcast has so many good games on it anyway, but to have 4 amazing games within the 2-year lifespan in Europe of the Dreamcast is just an achievement. So we're going to try not to let her get all the gems, but it looks like she probably will, seeing as she's got a gun. She powers up. Will she use her shuriken attack? Yes, she will. Yes, she will. We can't really get to that hiding spot. That's in the back left corner. And she's going to use the big shuriken attack and take the first round. So maybe I could have defended a little bit more, but I didn't want to get too defense heavy because there's really no point here. You want to attack to get the gems, you want to attack to get all the gems, to power up to really use your attacks. There's not a lot of being on the back foot here. You can't really defend or parry attacks. You just need to get out the way of them and counter attack. She throws the taiko drum at us, but it just snaps on the floor because we are far too fast for that. She's got a gun, but we can jump. That's one thing I like about Wang Tang, and basically all the characters who aren't massive, is that they've got great evasion, so you sort of balance the strength and evasion stats for them. And everyone's worth playing as well in Power Stone. It's not like there's one character that really dominates the rest. I like Wang Tang for his fast movement and his sort of overpowered energy ball attack, but to be fair, everyone when they're powered up is dangerous. And yeah, it's worth playing as everyone, especially to get all the endings, because if you play as Wang Tang once and you get his ending, and you play as Wang Tang again, some characters have 2 endings, but you won't unlock all the endings unless you play as everyone, so the game really encourages you to do that as well, as we pick up another victory. One more, come on, we can do this. We've got our final challenge. I haven't lost an actual 3-round fight in this entire video, so in stark contrast to Super Fantasy Zone, where I just could not get past the 2nd level, we are looking like complete pros here at Power Stone. Now, we got the gun, but we didn't really do too much with it. It's kind of hard. You got to sort of sense out what your opponent's doing. If they can avoid all your attacks, there's not a lot of point attacking in a conventional way. You want to sort of pick up a sword or like a ranged weapon, maybe a flamethrower. She's got powered up again, so we need to avoid all the shuriken. Here come the big shuriken. Okay, 12. 12 hits, not amazing, but we're going to try and make the comeback. Now, one thing the AI do is, there we go, they don't really jump. If a gem is on a higher surface, they tend to just run into the lower surface and let you jump for them. So once again, we can use that little exploit to power up and hopefully do most of Ami's health bar here. There we go. Big energy ball. She grabs a gem straight from that attack, but if we can just grab these 2 gems, bit of hand-to-hand combat, or the flamethrower, power up for the final time in this video, and launch our final attack. There we go, we have knocked Amy out. And yeah, I would have done the bosses here, but my Dreamcast has an awful habit of detecting that the disc door is open when it actually isn't. So one thing the Dreamcast does is take you back to its main menu. If it thinks the disc door's open, it will take you back to the main menu, so we're not going to fight Kraken the Pirate. We're going to accidentally go back to the main menu and yeah, leave the video there. So I want you to leave in the comments your favourite Capcom games. I like Killer 7, Power Stone, both great games. Leave a like if you like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time in the Armbar Arcade.